Hello everyone, RetroCrazer back with another top 10 list. Today we are going to take a look at my top 10 racing or car games of the 90s. This means that we will look at racing games or games that not necessarily primarily are racing games, but driving cars needs to be a big part of the game. And we are looking at games from 1990 to 1999. And we are only limiting it to games that was available on Windows or MS-DOS. The reason for that is, if not, then games like Super Mario Kart, F-Zero, and all the racing games on the Nintendo 64 would take up every spot on the list, and that would make it a pretty boring and predictable list. As always, this is just my personal opinion, so feel free to disagree with me in the comment section if I forgot one or more games you feel should be on the list. But hopefully there is at least one game on this list that you maybe had forgotten about or you completely agree with. And if that is the case, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more lists like this. And with that said, let's get right into the list of my top 10 90s racing games on Windows or MS-DOS. Let's go! Number 10. Pod, Planet of Death, was released by Ubisoft in 1997. Yes, the same Ubisoft that makes the Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games. This was a game I remember playing back in the days, and I was so impressed with the graphics at the time. The game looks really good, and the controls, as I can remember, was really smooth. So all in all, this was a pretty cool futuristic racing game. Number 9. Carmageddon, the forbidden game back in the days. This game was so controversial as you would get points for running over people. The races could either be completed like a normal race, or you could win by wrecking all your opponents, or running over all the people on the level. Yeah, no wonder this game was banned in some countries. It was still a really fun game to play though, and knowing the game was kind of forbidden back in the days made it even more fun to play. Number 8. Micro Machines was originally published for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1991, but later ported to pretty much all consoles and platforms. As I can remember, Micro Machines was one of the most popular racing games at its time, at least where I lived, and everyone that I knew played this game. The game is a super fun concept though, playing micro vehicles through levels that looks like household stuff like a breakfast table, a pool table, or a bathtub. The graphics are cute, and the variety in vehicles makes the game feel varied, as you have everything from cars to boats to Formula 1 cars and helicopters. Super fun game, which is just as fun to play today. Number 7. Revolt is a racing game developed and published by Acclaim for Windows, the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Dreamcast. You race around different tracks as a radio-controlled car, and the environments can differ between a regular neighborhood to a supermarket to a museum. You can collect different weapons to use against your opponents during a race. This was a super fun game to play with some great and colorful graphics. Number 6. Interstate 76, published by Activision and released in 1997. The game is a vehicular combat game, which through an episodic story pits you against other vehicles that you need to destroy before they destroy you. This is honestly a game I would recommend trying yourself, rather than me trying to explain it to you. It's definitely worth a shot. Maybe one of the most underrated games of the 90s. I do really like how the game just went all in on the polygon graphics, actually making the game look so damn good and kind of unique. Number 5. Destruction Derby 2. One of my favorite games on the Nintendo 64 was Destruction Derby 64, but this one was pretty damn cool as well. I'm still a bit surprised the franchise died this early, but as of what I remember, Destruction Derby back in the days was awesome. The crash physics and how damaging different parts of the cars would affect the steering and speed was a pretty nice feature, and the game was at its absolute best when it was pure chaos. Number 4. Wacky Wheels is a kart racing game published by Apogee and released in 1994. This game resembles Mario Kart, but you can imagine my surprise finding this game all of a sudden on PC, since I didn't own a Nintendo. My mind was blown. It was like playing Mario Kart, just with cute animals instead. You have different power-ups as well, and all in all, this is just a really fun game to play. You can pick up hedgehogs along the way that you can use as weapons against other racers. Yeah, it's a weird game. You might even call it wacky. You see what I did there? Huh? Huh? Number 3. Road Rash was a game I played so much when it was released for the PC. I remember those extremely disturbing characters, how you could get thrown off your bike and had to do the walk of shame back, and who can forget about those edgy, badass full motion cutscenes. The gameplay itself was pretty cool as you ride around on your motorcycle, kicking and whacking other drivers with a variety of weapons. This game was simply badass, and I played it so much. Number 2. Death Rally, the second game to be published by Apogee on this list. The game was released in 1996, and this was once again a game I played for a serious amount of hours back in the 90s. The game is a vehicular combat racing game where you drive around tracks while trying to destroy your opponents, as well as trying to keep yourself alive. You'll have to collect money during the races, either by winning, collecting money bonuses, do specific missions, and destroy other cars. You can upgrade your car, buy new cars and new weapons to help you in your races towards becoming the champion. I like everything about this game. The graphics, gameplay, controls, they are all so good. Number 1. Ignition is a racing game released by Virgin Interactive in 1996. This was one of those games I don't remember how I got my hands on, but I'm pretty sure I was only playing a demo of the game back then. But I do remember clearly that the graphics of this game blew my mind, as well as the details like the weather effects. The controls were also super smooth, and I clearly remember being just blown away by this surprise of a game that came out of nowhere. Never since 1996 have I ever forgot about this game. It was truly that epic. And there you have it, my top 10 list of the best racing games of the 90s on the computer. Agree or disagree? Feel free to vent your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, have an amazing day, everyone. Cheerio!